Hey friends, Sheelagh here. Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make a super nourishing and satisfying smoothie out of whatever you have in your kitchen. I have mayonnaise and smoked mussels out of almost whatever you have in your kitchen. We are going to talk about the components that make up a super nourishing, satisfying smoothie. Along the way, we will also discuss how to stock your pantry and fridge and freezer with those items you are most likely to need and that are easy to keep on hand so that you can have a smoothie whenever you want a smoothie. And I'm also going to make a smoothie so that you have a little bit of inspiration and I have a snack. Before we dig in, if you are new here, my name is Sheelagh. I am a holistic nutritionist and bicycle traveler. I believe in gentle nutrition, intuitive movement, and just generally staying curious and figuring out what works for you. If you're into that, please consider hitting subscribe and the little bell below to be notified whenever I put out new videos. And finally, just a little disclaimer that this video is for education and entertainment purposes only, so please consult your healthcare provider on your unique needs. All right, let's get going. Now, the first step of making a super nourishing, satisfying smoothie actually comes before you even start making a smoothie. And that is to pause, take a deep breath, and check in with yourself about what you feel like. Yes, this might be somewhat limited by the ingredients you happen to have on hand that day, but it's still a very important step. Check in with your hunger levels, your taste buds, your whole body and mind to see what you feel like. Do your taste buds want something slushy or something smooth? Do they want something savory or something sweet? Are you really hungry and you need a big smoothie packed with fats and proteins? Or do you want a smaller, light smoothie? It's super important to check in with whatever those cues are because smoothies can be super nourishing, but it's really important we're honoring whatever cues our body is giving us. I know for me, I used to say smoothies don't fill me up, smoothies don't satisfy me. And that was because often I wasn't making them nourishing enough. I wasn't filling them with enough of those ingredients that I needed. And sometimes I was kind of forcing myself to drink them because I knew they were healthy, but they weren't really what I was feeling like. So honor the cues your body is giving you. When you check in with what your body's really feeling like, that's when you'll put together a real banging smoothie. The first thing we need to start with is our base. I typically use bananas because I find them to be very nourishing, very satisfying. They're really easy to keep on hand, either in a fruit bowl or I cut them up and freeze them. That way I always have them in the freezer whenever I need them. You could also use avocado or frozen avocado or a different kind of fruit all entirely. I just really like smooth smoothies, as in ones that are a little bit creamier, and so I find bananas really give them that texture. Step 2 is our frozen fruit. This is going to add some sweetness, some antioxidants, flavor. You can do fresh or frozen. I usually do frozen just because it's so easy to always have on hand. And also, a lot of frozen fruit is still quite nutrient rich because it's picked and then frozen quite quickly. So many options, but today I am going to go with mangoes. Now, eventually you'll get used to the ratios your body needs for a small smoothie or a large smoothie, so just kind of play around. Next, we're gonna add some vegetables because vegetables are loaded with vitamins and minerals and they can be hard to always get into our day. So a smoothie is a great opportunity for them. My favorite vegetables to add are leafy greens because they are so rich in vitamins and minerals and antioxidants. If you are new to putting vegetables in your smoothie, I highly recommend starting with fresh spinach. Start with just a handful and it is gonna blend in so smoothly. I swear you're barely gonna know it's there. I also always keep frozen spinach on hand so I can toss it in when I don't have any fresh leafy greens. And then kale or any other leafy green is also a great option. They'll just have more of a texture and taste of greens. That's why I recommend starting with spinach. If you're new to putting vegetables in your smoothie, don't scare yourself off. Start with something that you'll barely notice and then eventually graduate to something like kale that has that little bit of a green texture to it. Other vegetables that are easy to put in a smoothie are cauliflower, zucchini, and those usually have a pretty good fridge life, so they're an easy one to keep on hand as well. Again, with vegetables, always start small and let yourself get used to them. Eventually, you'll be putting handfuls of vegetables into your smoothie and you'll barely notice it. Today, I'm gonna go for my favorite and get some spinach in there. The next component of a super nourishing smoothie is incorporating some fats and proteins. You can leave this out if you just feel like something super light, but generally speaking, I always add some fats or proteins like nuts and seeds because those are going to bulk up that smoothie and make it a lot more nourishing and satisfying. You can use any kind of nut or seed butters, sunflower seed butter, cashew butter, almond butter, whatever captures your interest. And you can also add seeds as well. I'm gonna add some hemp seeds today, but you could also do flax seeds or chia seeds. Flax seeds and chia seeds are a great source of healthy fats and protein. They're great for digestion, super nourishing, but they do attach to water and kind of create this gelatinous texture, which can be super enjoyable and give you more of a chewy smoothie, but it is a little bit different, so just something to keep in mind. Today, I'm gonna add this rainforest nut butter with coconut, which is cashews, Brazil nuts, and coconut, and then I'm gonna add some hemp seeds. Now the last step is optional. There are a lot of little powders and super foody things now that can be beneficial for our health, and a smoothie is a really easy way to get them into your diet. So I'll often take a smoothie as my opportunity to squeeze some extra little nutrients in. These are totally optional and are really going to vary depending on your needs. For me personally, I'll often use maca, which can be helpful for our stress response. I have some vitamin D drops, definitely hard to get enough vitamin D in the winter. Spirulina powder, which can have some B vitamins and antioxidants. And then I also have an animal-based collagen and a plant-based collagen. Animal-based collagen I mostly use as a source of protein. The plant-based collagen is a variety of herbs that are intended to help boost our body's natural production of collagen, which I like to use because one, I'm getting older, and two, because of the kind of running and biking I do, it overall helps with my joint health. But again, this step is totally optional and just depends on what you need. If you are adding any little powders, be sure to start small because a lot of them can be potent and they'll really ruin that taste if you start too big too fast. And finally, it is time for our liquid. I use a lot of different plant-based milks. Right now, I'm really feeling the oat milk, but you can use whatever kind of regular milk or plant-based milk that you prefer. If you want to make sure that you always are able to make a smoothie, having some kind of backup plant-based milks in the pantry can be helpful. But in a pinch, you can also use water or juice. And you can add more or less liquid depending on how thick or thin you like your smoothies to be. My little secret addition is that I always have coconut milk on hand, either in the pantry or already opened in the fridge, because I find it just gives it that extra little bit of creaminess. And now we blend. And now it's time to pour and enjoy. To summarize, you have your base, and then you have your fruit, and then you have your vegetables, and then you have your fats or proteins, and you have your optional little powders to finish it off, and then you have your liquid, and you're done. Keeping your pantry stocked with things like nut butters, seed butters, nuts, seeds, maybe a backup dairy-free milk just to be safe, and then keeping your freezer stocked with some frozen chopped up bananas is really helpful, some frozen fruit, some frozen vegetables. When you have all those things kind of on the back burner, throwing together a super nourishing smoothie is really easy. And most importantly, always meet yourself where you are and put together the smoothie that you want. Can I have some? Yeah, you can have some. That's it for today's video. If you like this video, please give it a like. And if you want updates and tips more regularly, you can follow me on Instagram at Sheelagh.Daly. Thanks. Have a good one.